Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. I'm feeling better today. I was really out of sorts the other day, so I apologize for that video. It was kind of But anyways, I've been working on the Altered book, and I'm sorry I didn't turn on the camera, but I was listening to classic rock, and I just find that if I can get in the zone, I do a lot better than if I have to talk, because it requires thinking about two different things. So anyways, I just did a little work on it so that, and I'm sure you guys don't want to watch every single step anyway because it starts to get really boring. But I just put some paper on these pages, and then this is just a little tuck that I did using Tim Holtz paper, and that's like the last piece of that paper I have. It's well, I have one little scrap of it left, but I've had it for ages, so I don't even know what paper that is, but I liked the color of it and the polka dots. And I put, oops, it's just a tuck, and I just sewed some of the fabric on there. Like, we've been doing a lot with tags and all that kind of stuff. It's just a lot of fun. I'm trying to fix my light, so sorry. And then I did a journaling card to go in there, and I just backed it with some tea-stained paper that I stamped with the Tim Holtz stamp and a couple of other little stamps I have. This is just a little pocket where you can write, you know, whose book it is or whatever. I just put a little tag in here. This is from Samantha. Thank you, Samantha. I just backed it with some Tim Holtz. Fits in there perfectly. And then some lined paper, a little collage, a little fabric on the side of this tuck spot. This is a altered, some of these, flashcard, that's the word. And then I just did tea stain paper, and this just has a little, and I put that, just kind of a collage with some fabric up there. This is our tag we made together. It flips to this page. I put those in Tim Holtz paper, 3x5 card, tea stain paper. This is the envelope that I showed you guys the other day, pocket here, and then I also just did a little tuck behind it, and that's an altered flashcard again. And just a spot to journal. You could probably write all along this because it's not very dark. So, and then, so today I thought I could glue these down, and then I have some, I'm going to do another one of the tags because I have a side opening pocket. Sorry, I thought that was the pocket open. Pocket here that I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to put one of these seed packet envelopes on there that'll flip in and out. And then my sister made me some eco-dyed just like pieces of cardstock that I can cut and do whatever with. So I thought we might make it like a tag to put in here. Thank you, Megan. Alright, so I figured out a really cool trick that I want to show you guys before I forget about it. So this I've talked about before. Tracy Fox is where I've learned how to do this. This is just a cheap Wet n Wild blush brush that I got at the dollar store, and it's good if you want to like ink all over a page and don't want the circles that these make sometimes, you know. And it also works great for getting in all these little spaces with like flowers and things, because you know how you can't get the dauber in there. And so a lot of times you just have to leave it like with a white spot right there. So yeah, these work great for this. So just get yourself dollar store blush brush. This is the only kind they had. I would have rather had a shorter handle, I think, but you know, this works totally fine. So, but anyway, that's just kind of a cool little thing. That works really nice. And another thing, it works really good just to like do the whole page, and you can. With the tea dyed, it's not as dark as coffee staining, and so it kind of brings out the ripples and stuff that are in the paper when you do that. So, I don't know, those are pretty cool. Good idea. It's a great idea. Alright, so I'm going to put some glue on the back of this. Get my stack of book pages that I've been gluing on. So I hope everybody's having a good Saturday so far. It's pretty nice here. It's been pretty hot, so I know I can't complain because it's just going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. So it's actually been very nice. So yeah, I don't know, I sometimes just like to work with music playing. I really kind of wish that you could do that with, you know, just turn on the radio kind of thing. I know you can use copyright free music, but that can be difficult to find, and I don't like the repetitiveness of, you know, playing some of those songs on my videos. So, I don't know, I wish you could just turn on the radio, because sometimes I run out of things to talk about. I'm just not, as I've said before, I'm not super talkative person to begin with. And then when I get, like I said, in my zone or whatever, it's hard for me to, I think that's why sometimes I get all flustered, like I don't know what I'm doing. Trying to think of things to talk about and think about what I need to do. So anyhow, sometimes I just got to turn on the music and go. So essentially what I'm trying to accomplish here is just covering up the words. And there's lots of different ways you can do it. You can, how did I already get ink on me and get it on there? You can like paint the pages with some like acrylic paint or gesso if you want to cover them that way, if you don't want to have to be like gluing down paper on everything. But I just like the paper better. I don't really like writing on paint. I don't know, it's kind of a textural thing. I have lots of weird textural things, I guess. But yeah, I don't love that feeling. So, but that's all personal preference. If it doesn't bother you, then that's a good way to cover some of the words. I mean, you don't have to cover them entirely. You can, like, I can kind of see them through this paper, and that's totally fine. It's just, obviously, if you want to be journaling in it, you don't want text there that you can't write over the top of. So I put these down, and then I end up doing that. Get it all over my mat. It's always something with the glue, I tell you. So yeah, it's been pretty peaceful around here lately. We haven't had gobs to do, but soon enough we will be back at fair and band and all those. Why did I do that? Did you guys just see me do that? I don't think I have another playing piece like this. I meant to put the glue on this side. Were you screaming at me to stop? Sometimes, I don't know, my brain. Well, at least if I do that, I can use the bottom part of that. Jeez. So let me see, I'm just going to have to use a piece of... I was thinking it was blank on both sides. Duh. Because I only have so many of those blank ones like that. So we're cutting this at 5. Just in half, basically, for an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Looked out with this book, that seems to fit on there perfectly. Well, that's not in half, that's a little less, but that's the size this one is. Alright, I need it around the corners. I always have to do something when I'm on camera. And again, I think it's the talking. My brain can't do that many things at one time. Oh, come on. Sometimes with coffee staining and tea staining, it wrinkles, and then you can't get it in these. There it flips up. And I've got myself like down to no space at all, basically. Oh, this one's a lot smaller. Oh my goodness. I'm off to a great start here, people. Well, it'll cover all the words. I think it'll be alright. We're going to do some other things anyway, so it will be fine. I'm going to put an edge down it or something. I didn't make any mistakes yesterday when I was doing this. And I worked on it for a couple hours and I didn't. Yeesh. It's really incredible how many hours go into this stuff. I mean, it's awesome. I love doing it. So it's just, when you think about it, it's crazy. Crazy. You can probably hear all the birds in the background. Yesterday I went outside, and I'm always amazed by stuff like this, but there was nothing but bird feathers and the head of a bird, like just the beak, and and that's it. There were no other bones, no nothing. And I know that's not my cat because he doesn't eat them, and he just plays with them until they're dead, and then he moves on. But it had to have been, we have lots of hawks and things that fly around here, and so it had to be a hawk. But man, I mean, talk about use everything. Literally everything was gone except the feathers. And you know, I know they do that, but it's amazing to see because it looks like the bird just went poof and was gone. Anyway, I'm easily entertained, I guess, but I mean, it's sad. I don't like that the other bird died, but I know that bird has to eat, so it's, you know, it just is what it is. Alright, so let's work on this while those dry. And I thought, this is my old paper kit. If you haven't seen it, it's on my Etsy shop. I like it because I can just like cover the whole back of something for journaling, you know, that kind of thing. So, I don't know if I think I just used the bird on the last one I did. I had one with a mushroom. Kind of want to do a mushroom today. I feel like a mushroom. I know I had one. Oh, it's right here. It was hiding. I seriously have the biggest mess known to man right now. So I think I'm going to just do that. Boom. Let's see. We want to take a little bit off the edge, so let me do that first before I mess it up or something. And then this can go about here. It's like right after those little perforations from the note paper, the old note paper. I wish I could find another thing of that. I found it was like antique, I don't know, 60s, maybe, you know, whatever you want to call that, older composition notebook paper with the little teeny tiny holes. And so that's kind of why I started putting in my digis, because I'm almost out of it. And I don't want to lose it. I love it. I'm going to have to take a little bit more off of there. It's just super cool, those itty bitty holes, and then the paper itself is a great color. So I think I'm just going to glue it on, and then I'll trim the top because I can't get it very good there. I don't need to do that. Try not to get too many circles on there. The only thing is you don't, with the blush brushes, the edges don't ink as well. Otherwise I would just use it. But it's hard to get the edges very inked when you use that. Otherwise I would be using that. I put a new one of these on here, so now it squeaks. All the trials and tribulations. I didn't know that the hawks were all that interested in the smaller birds, because it seems like I've mostly found, and we kind of have a common area that everybody can use, like doves and things like that, because we have some really big, well, we have golden eagles too in the area, but apparently they will snack on those. It could have been a peregrine, because we've got the little ones too, but Oh, I didn't need to go all the way to the top. Now I'm going to have sticky scissors. One time it had to have been an eagle that got it, but it was a goose. I kid you not. A whole goose out there in the common area, just obliterated to nothing. And we don't have, like, we're in a rural area, but not, I mean, it's fairly busy, so we don't have, like, there's coyotes further out, but we don't have them in here. And you could just tell by the way the feathers were plucked and everything that it was, you know, not a bigger animal. And it left part of it too. I don't know how it did it, because goose is a lot bigger, but it did. It's incredible. Sorry, I got it stuck on my finger and now I can't get it off. Now my scissors are all sticky probably. So it's a little crooked and stuff, but that doesn't bother me because I'm going to do some inking and everything anyway, so. I've got some of these papers. I've used that one quite a bit, so maybe this one. And these are just like textiles and wallpapers that I got off of the Victoria and Albert Museum. And I always check dates to make sure they're, you know, like 1800s, early 1900s. But that's where I got these. So yeah, they're just really pretty colors. Take a piece of this. Decided I didn't want such a straight piece. So that, and then what else? You take one, cut one of these out. Gotta put my glasses on because I can't see. And if you don't know, this is my Dioro DigiKit. Just so you know what paper I'm using. I've been using Tim Holtz too. It seems to go nicely together. And I'm not even sure. I have 3 stacks of his and I have them taken apart. And so they've gotten mixed up and stuff. So I apologize for that. But I mean, it's pretty easy to find his stuff. That's not real, you know, it's fairly easy. Nope. Trying to figure out. Kind of want something, like maybe some graph paper. Ledger. I probably have scraps of this somewhere, but who knows where. Let's go a little taller like this. I can trim that. I think what's bugging me is these straight edges on here. I don't know why that bothers me so much, but it really does. It's like I can't envision it when they're all perfectly square. Yes, I'm insane, I know. Okay, well, let's start with that. I just realized that there's like glue on this. That's not going to work great with glue on it. Let's try. I'm very excited because my niece, who is getting married, is going to possibly, we're not sure yet, so I don't want to jinx anything, be moving back home. So that is awesome. But we don't know yet for sure, so but that would be fantastic if she did. Alright, let me see here what I can do with this. I don't need all of this. But yeah, that's very exciting. Especially because, like I said, she's going to get married, so maybe they'd actually be able to have the wedding here instead of where they're at, which is just, it's not a big deal. It's just, of course, easier for us. And it would just be excellent to have them back to hang out with. And I'm not that worried about gluing on here because I'm just going to put glue all over it anyway. So if it's got a few sticky spots, no biggie. I'll do this kind of thing. And I'll work on the sides and all that and trimming those and stuff. So I just really like this up here. So that's kind of what the deal is. What? Well, let me get this one glued down and then I'll figure that out. And I know that my sister would be ecstatic if she came back, of course. And my kids have a lot of fun with her. The biggest thing is always jobs and where to live. Just dilemmas here. And I like it because you can see the words a little bit through that ledger. So this one's going to slide in and out of the pocket, so I don't want to make it too thick because obviously that will make it difficult. It'll probably get covered and you'll never even see that, but hey, you guys know it's there. Alright, let's see if I've got some little pieces of something cool looking. Just like a little ledgery piece. Oh, you know what would be good is so this, but I have some scraps. And I don't care if some of those numbers get covered, and I'll trim that. I like these little oranges, they're cute. Or at least I think that's what they are. That one's so green. I don't know. I don't know a lot about oranges, other than they're really good to eat. So, if you know more, let me know. So then this is going to go on here like that. So, do I want to put this? I think I kind of like it there, but it feels like it needs something else. Darn glue. I just have to get glue everywhere. Oh, maybe a butterfly. I cut out a whole bunch of butterflies last night. Oh yeah, that is it. What am I doing? Got too many things on my desk to deal with. Trying to not get glue on my inking thing, and then I get them mixed up. See, I got glue on there though. Trying to learn not to touch it with my fingers when they have ink on them, because that just makes it worse. I got these off of Biodiversity Heritage Library, but I don't know what the person's name is that Rachel found, but if you watch her videos, or if you have, then you probably know she found a good spot to find images that are already sized and all that, if you don't want to go deal with hunting this stuff down, because it isn't easy, and a lot of it I do just because, you know, I do the digis and everything, and so obviously copyright is a huge issue, so I have to go hunt it down anyway. So, but if you are just making stuff, I would go with the digi she found, because I mostly only saw her using flowers, but I'm sure the lady has other stuff, so yeah, that's what I would do. Alright, I like that. And then I'll do some sewing, and I may even do a little fabric, but for now, what I'm thinking, I want to kind of, oh, I didn't think about the mushroom. Well, that kind of stinks. I should have put it over that. Darn. That wasn't a brilliant move at all. I could flip it this way. Maybe that's what I'll do. And this will be the journaling side, and this, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense though to do it that way. I know what I can do. So I'm not going to be able to do as much fabric as I wanted to. I was going to do the, you know, fabric along the edge. I just did not think that through very well. So we'll just do a partial tab on here to like there. And then I can put something there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down before I mess it up even further. This one's pretty much done. These are great for the, that's what I did for journaling cards, that big one I did. I really like it. I've never done these before, so Looks great. Thanks to Rachel. So that's the good news about junk journaling, is there's usually a way to come up with to fix stuff that isn't quite right. I don't want to do it like totally right up because I want it to be able to move, so I'm going to do it like that. And see, that will still flip just fine. Okay, so let's figure out how we want to decorate this. Really love that rose. I put that on that other thing I did. I think I'm going to put it on here too. And you can tell how old these are with the color of the paper. And that's printed. That's not I'm just going to tear oopsie, tear off a little edge. So we've been teaching my son to drive. He took the class that they have to take, but they only really drive like 6 hours. It's ridiculous. It's like, what's that going to do? So last weekend when we went into town, he drove. By the end of that day, I mean, he's doing great. It's nothing wrong with it. It's just I just finished with my daughter. It feels like, I mean, she's been driving for almost a year now, but and you know, we're starting on him, so it's kind of, it really is exhausting. Like, I was just completely exhausted by the time I got home that day, that night. I just was done. And like, I don't know why that's so. I guess you're probably just completely, like, you know, stressed, tight. Like, it was bad, but I mean, he's doing a great job. It's not him. It's just that it's stressful. And he'll be a good driver. He's just learning. And there's stuff that you think they know, you know, because you just think they know, and they don't. So, yeah, there's always those kind of obstacles. So it's been. So we went into town again, just the kids and I, the other day to get my husband something for Father's Day, and I'm like, I'm driving. Love you, but it's really the freeway is what it is, and they're doing work on our freeway, and it's a big fat mess, and so the on-ramp from where we are is just insanity. Like, you almost can't not, you know, have a wreck. It's just a mess. And so yeah, that's where it does me in. Well, I mean, a lot of it does me in, but that really does me in because we have those huge, well, you have them everywhere, but those semi-trucks barreling along, and it's too scary. So maybe once they get it fixed more, he just needs to drive more, period, and then we'll tackle that again, because that was rough. Just gonna say it, it was rough. my daughter, it was funny because she never understood why I would get so stressed out when she was doing it. Sorry, I'm just grabbing some fabric. And then the other day, driving with her brother, she's like, I'm beginning to understand. I'm like, see, told you. that's when I'm happy. I mean, I would have loved to have had a few more kids, but that's when I'm happy I didn't. Because I don't think I could do it a few more times. I think I would have to pay somebody. Because it's just, I'm going to have a heart attack and die. It's just scary. I think I want to do a few little stamps on there just to add some interest. I have these funny stamps, and I got these off of Amazon. They're like postcard and all kinds of stuff. Crafty Individuals. They have no backs, and they're the rubber, so like I don't know that I would buy them again had I realized, because this is the picture they show, so I assumed they were the silicone, and they're not. So anyway, I mean, they work fine. They're easy. I just ink them and use them because they won't stick to anything. But I just kind of do this kind of thing. I don't know if you can see here. Okay, just flip it down. Not that it's going to matter, but. And I wrote top on them because it's hard to see when you're just looking at them like that. So, but they stamp really well. They're good. It's just really kind of fiddly. And we all know how well I do with fiddly, so. I like the images for sure. And I'm not gonna like try to make them all perfect, which I probably couldn't anyway, but because I just want the idea. This is like a ticket. This one's kind of cool. This is how I get my fingers all brown and gross. Where's the little one again? Okay. Just a little something on there. I'll clean those off later. Oh, I guess I shouldn't have covered all the stuff on there. Oh, too late now. It's covered. I kind of liked the color of this because it sort of matches the, yeah, straw paper. Wow, brain, work with me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go stitch this real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, hi, I'm back. I wanted a little stitch on there, and I added just another little thin piece of sari silk, because the good thing about sari silk is it doesn't add a lot of bulk. So, just, you know, little interest there. This I'm going to glue down with my wet glue to make sure that it stays put. And see, I end up covering up the stamps, but hey, you know, that's what we do. I'm going to put a little bit of this under here. I don't want it to I don't want the wet glue to show through there. I'm going to squinch it a little. Like that. Squinch it is a technical term, by the way, in case you didn't know. And I am going to put just a little bit of wet glue along here because it's going to hit that fabric, and I just don't want it to cause a problem. Okay, pretty. I feel like I want to put a little something here. I don't want to cover up all that. I do want to ink it a little. Maybe we could put a birdie. I am a little concerned about this, but I think it'll be okay. I mean, it's not going to hold a lot of weight. It's going to hold just like one little card, so It could be right. A bird, a bird. I love this bird, but he's so big. I keep trying to use him. Oh, these are flowers. Oh, great. I mixed up my birds and my flowers. I pull these out all the time, as you know. Oh, I do like that bird. He's the stomping bird, I call him, because he looks like he's stomping around. The stomping bird. This is a pretty thin piece of paper, just regular copy paper. I know I'm being rough, but that's okay. I kind of want it to look roughed up. Key. Trying to make sure I'm staying on. I've pushed myself into like basically what you see is what I have here. It's just a mess. A mess, a mess, a mess. And I think I want a piece of music paper. If I can find it. This is an old one. It's a Daffy Down Dilly. No idea. I will keep that because, you know, I like to do stuff with that. He blends in there too much, huh? Kind of blends in the yellow too much too. Let me see. What do I have? Could use one of my tags. No. New. Maybe no music paper. And yeesh. Kind of blends into that though. I really like that. Obviously, polka dot paper. Green. Are you guys yelling at me? I make you crazy yet? Maybe he's not the right bird. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe this bird with the music. That one's not working for me either. Oh, I love these little titmouses. They're so cute. With their big, huge eyes. Kind of like him. He's a little bit little. The yellow one might work. Yes, I think I like the yellow one. I don't know where I'm going to use my stomping bird. He's so cute. But for some reason, every time I try to use him, it just isn't it. I like the yellow one. Oh, I'm using this thing because that works really good to get in here. And it's a little bit lighter, which I kind of like, because you don't always want it like super dark, but you just want to take that edge off, or at least I do. I mean, everybody's different, but okay. This. Alright, if you hear any banging and crashing, everybody's home today, so it sometimes gets loud around here. Sticking to me. I feel like it needs just something. Sorry, I'm probably making you guys crazy. But it kind of, sounds weird, but it kind of talks to me. Like, nope, not done yet. Not done yet. I don't like the gray. I don't really know what it is I'm looking for, to be honest. It just needs something. Oh, piece of this might work. This is the lining out of those pants. I know, I'm weird. But it was so pretty with that velvet ribbon on there, I just couldn't, I don't know. And I like the print on here and everything. White that much. And it's nice and thin, so it's good for stuff like this. Yep, that's what it needs. I'm going to put the glue directly on here and hope that it's going to really hold it. We'll see. I'm probably out of camera shot, but I'm just putting glue on the bird. Alright. Okay, there's that. And then we need to do the card. And I'm going to open this and let it dry. Like this. I need to cut it to size, which is, I'm just measuring this seed packet. I'm going to go with 5.5 by 3. Hopefully that will work with this. I hope it doesn't cut too much of it off. I know I'm going to lose some of it, but oops. I like this flower down here too. It turned out really good. I think if I cut enough off the sides, I should be able to get there. Let's see. This, she said, was a lily, so cut more off of that side than this side. I am going to lose that whole piece right there. If I can scoot it out just a little fit. I'm just trying it in the seed packet. Yeah, it fits. Okay. And I don't want to cover that up, obviously, so I think I'm going to just kind of do some stuff up here, and then I'll put something on the back that you can like write on or whatever. from my other paper collection. I like to mix them up though. They actually do go pretty good together. So if you have any of my other ones, I try to, I mean, of course they're not always gonna match, but I think a lot of it is just a person's style too, like it comes out in the digitals, and I think that that plays a part. And how well they go together. Sorry, train of thought there. Wow, huge gap. You could hear the wheels a-turning. And I'll trim it. Yeah, I think I'll do that, and I'm going to stitch that afterwards as well. And you don't have to stitch anything. I mean, if you don't like sewing or you don't have a sewing machine, don't stress it. It's not a big deal. It's just I like it, so I do it. I want to bring this down. This is more of a that shape. And I end up covering most of that image, but it's fine for, it's mostly the color up in there that I was after. And so I'll cover the back of this. And one that has the purple flower on it. Except that'll take up the whole back. So I'll choose this one. And I'm just going to glue it on and then cut it. And that piece of paper is done. It's no wonder I have a mess, right? I just like throw everything this way and that way. Just when I'm doing this, I can't think about putting everything away. You know who's really good at that is Gail. Gail Agostinelli. My goodness, she's amazing. She keeps everything organized. She says she's in a mess, but she can always find everything, so I'm not buying it. When I say I'm in a mess, I'm in a mess. Some of the center of that flower came off. And I know I went over a little further than I needed to. I could have gone right to the edge, but I wanted to catch maybe a little bit of the music that's on the back. And I barely caught any of it, but that's okay. It just adds some interest. And I think I'm going to put it where's the arrow? There it is. This is just one of those old date stamps. I just like to do that sometimes. Just looks kind of cool. Alright, so there's that. I'm going to stitch around it. I've got my fingers in a big fat mess. So this will slide in here, and I probably will stitch a little bit of fabric along the edge that will stick out. That'll slide in there like that, so that gives that a little something because these two pages are fairly plain. And then this will just slip in here, maybe, like that. And then what I was going to show you with this is that you can just kind of go along around these, and it works really well to just kind of catch some edges. And it takes down, I mean, this is kind of a creamy colored page book anyway, but okay. So I'm going to go do some stitching and I'll be back. Okay, hi everybody, I'm back. So I finished this. I did a little tab on here just because I was worried that card, it would be hard to get in and out, and this is super thin sari silk, so I think that, you know, our card will be safe in there. And then I did add a little washi with glue just to make sure that because it is a little bit compromised down here where I cut it. And then I did sew some fabric along the sides so that it'll, you know, hang out of that pocket over here. When sewing, just make sure you leave this pocket open, and I did take the tag out just because you don't want you know, to accidentally go like this, because I did, when I came back around to make it fit in the sewing machine better, I had it like that, and I did stitch a little 2 stitches there, and I was like, ah, stop, you know. So just don't stitch it closed, because otherwise you won't be able to open this, it'll be stuck. So yeah, when I came back around, I was like, oh, it's, you know how when you're trying to turn it in the sewing machine, it's all bent and everything, yeah. So I was trying to do that, and I dinged it up, and I don't know why I put fabric up there. That wasn't very smart of me. I was just thinking, it's a tag, right? It needs fabric, so I might end up taking that off. Yeah, it's not fitting great because of that, I don't think. So what I think I shall do is just cut this open. I don't know why I did that. I wasn't even thinking. I'm going to use my pinky shears. Sorry, I just bumped my head on the... So I just have a little color up there. Brain. You get in those habits of doing those things, and then when it's not the good time to do that, it doesn't work great. Okay, so that will go fit in there, and then that goes over like that, and then when you close it, you have the ruffles again. So it's starting to get pretty ruffly. So I hope you guys have an awesome day. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe, and we'll chat later. Bye-bye now.